All right, I think we're live, everybody. What's
We
going
are
on,
there.
everybody? It's me. I'm Will. We got George, Mobile Geezer. What's up, George?
Hey, everybody. Mobile Giza here.
And we got Mike from Simply Your Device.
Hello, everybody. Mike Dixon, Simply Your Device, right here. I'm making it simple tonight.
Well, it is simply your device. That makes sense.
Yeah, so you have to pardon me. I'm still getting over. That was a heck of a head cold I had. So
nobody gave you a heads up. Okay.
no, there was no heads up at all.
But it must have been a very heady feeling, though.
Yeah.
And you know why, don't you?
No, why?
You're a headliner.
Wow, how many puns was that?
Head's one of those you can do a lot with. Head, butt, you can do a lot with butter. You can do a lot with those. Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm only trying to butter you up. So. Okay.
So what's going on, everybody? How's your week, Mike? How's your week going?
Oh, other being sick, and I had to, take a half a day on Tuesday and Wednesday. And thank goodness it's Friday. That's all I got to say. I got to go to work tomorrow to make up for my lost time. But other than that, hey, I actually look forward to going to work tomorrow because there will be nobody in the building. It's just me and one sales guy. It'll be quiet and I get stuff done.
Okay, yeah, that's when you can really get stuff done.
No, I really am. It sounds sick, but I'd rather go on a Saturday because I can do what in 4 hours I could probably do in what I would do in 8. You know what I mean?
Cool. Oh, Carol's in here. Hi, Carol.
I'm putting in work. See, hey, Mom, how you doing? See, Mom, I'm alive.
Yeah, you were really sick, Mike.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Trying to keep up on this stuff. So.
Yeah, you were really sick. I was like, I don't know if Mike's gonna make it.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
I saw Pat made you some soup.
Yeah. I was trying to be social as best I could. I was putting all kinds of stuff out on Instagram, and I shared it, to Twitter.
So considering Mike's personality, that was literally soup to nuts. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I couldn't resist that one.
God.
Six Louise, you getting this now? You getting this? Okay.
Notice Carol specifically said hi, Will, because you were the only one that didn't say hi, Carol.
I said hi, Mom.
No, you said hi, Mom, but Will didn't.
I said hi, Mom.
I didn't hear you say hi, Mom.
Yeah, it's in there. I typed it in the chat.
Oh, you sneaked it in. Okay, flipping stuff through on us old folks. I got you.
Yeah.
So what's the stories? Come on, Will. What's some of the?
Right.
Will,
you're in charge, Will.
Yo, Will, you got the apple juice going?
Nah, I got Mountain Dew today. I still got my iPhone. I told you, Mike, I'm not coming back.
I know got my iPhone, but I've got my own cola.
I went to the dark side. I'm not coming back.
Oh, I can tell.
A brother going to the dark side. I mean, come on now.
I can't do it, Mike. It's so peaceful. It's so peaceful on this side.
We were just saying before we went live, you're boring now. No, nothing to share. No news tech. Nothing like that.
I didn't say he was boring.
I did.
Okay.
I said he's boring. He doesn't have no new tech. I didn't get this. I didn't try that. Last year was buying, the Pixel phone. He got the moment lens, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
refuses to put up any videos.
Yeah, I tell you.
I know. I'm so lazy, and I should do it because I got 4K at 60 now.
There you go. That's right.
Let's see what we got. What's up, George?
I like 60 frames per second because I don't.
I don't know. I never really use it. I use 30 unless I'm just recording my kids or something. I'll use it just because the iPhone has it and you can do it.
Yeah, I tend to like 30 and 24 much more than 60 frames per second. What about you, Mike?
I like the 60.
Okay.
I like 1080 at 60. I like on the iPhone, I especially do on the iPhone there. I like it. It looks great, but I will say it's a little frustrating because when you do upload it to YouTube, it seems
it takes forever.
Oh, well, that and also the compression, it just doesn't come out. I just don't see it.
Okay.
I don't.
And when I'm saying it,
yeah,
when I say it takes forever, that's the 4K ones that take forever.
I don't see it happening when I watch my videos here on my computer after I've done the video.
Right.
You can see it. I feel I can see a difference. But then when it gets to YouTube and are watching on another phone, and I'm talking not just a cheap phone, I'm talking, let's say my OnePlus.
Right.
It just like, ew, what happened? You know what I mean?
They compression it out. Okay.
Compression it out. Yeah. It depends where you're at. I don't know. Is it my Wi-Fi? Is it, or am I watching it somewhere else?
Could be being 55. You never know.
Oh man.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, only a week ago, right, Mike? And he's he's making you old.
My age, the funnest thing to do is pick on anybody young. Well, most everybody is younger now, so I can pick on everybody.
Yeah, he's making you feel old. Well, I guess we could hit this since Six brought it up, and I don't think he didn't have no article about it, but he was saying to talk about the S10 with the leaked prices. We were talking about it a little bit before we got on.
Okay, yeah.
So here we go. I just pulled it up. We got looks like the S10 Lite with 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage is rumored to be at $885.
And that's the cheap one.
That's the Lite. That's the Lite version. The S10, I guess the regular one, 6 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage for $1056. Which the storage isn't bad, but let me see. What is it got more RAM than the Pixel, but the Pixel 3 XL with 128, I think is $999, but I think they got a sale now, so they're like $57 over. The S10 with 8 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage is $1340. That's iPhone range right there.
Yeah, 13. Well, that's heavy.
And then this is the Plus.
Keep going.
The S10 Plus with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 storage is $1192.
Right.
8 gigs of RAM, 512 storage is $1477. And this is the one for Mike, the 12 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte for $1819. I think that's what you said you were getting, right, Mike? I thought you said you were going to pay a couple more.
Yeah. I'll be starting divorce procedure.
Yeah, right.
You have that phone, go live in a car, and
you take your phone with you.
Your phone with you, and keep on paying the rest of
some
stuff.
Chicken soup next time you get.
Yeah. She'll be getting
$1,800. It better give you something.
That's Samsung lost their mind with this one. I don't see.
Well, I mean, Samsung and Apple. We got the story coming up later about that.
I don't know, George. This is like, I mean, Apple does it, and to me, it's different when Apple does it because even though it's expensive, Apple to me only competes with Apple. I don't think Apple, we know they compete with Android as far as a phone goes, but most people on an iPhone aren't going to jump to Android. Do you know what I mean? They'll stick with their older iPhone or, but Samsung is competing with OnePlus, Xiaomi.
Value for it because your phone lasts longer.
Yeah, but Samsung is competing with so many other companies that are releasing cheaper phones that I don't see how. I'm hoping the prices are not.
Will, you're gonna see people hold on to their S8s. And just for that's on the high end. I've seen a lot of S7s and 7 edges still running around too.
Yeah,
so
people already hold on to the S8s because look at the sales numbers that last year Samsung didn't do too good. So people are already holding on to the S8s and the S7s. They're just going to hold on to them.
Well, it seems like with both Samsung and Apple, people are holding on to their phones. But with Apple, it makes more sense to hold on to your phone because you're still getting updates.
Yeah, but I guess George, it's only us that thinks of that because most people don't care about updates anyway. So
well, that's probably true. Six is saying how much will a note cost then? He's got a point there.
That could be $2,000.
Yeah, probably.
I really can't. I don't know. I can't see paying that for a Samsung phone. I really can't.
Yeah, but the next note at $2,000 is going to have that special pen. You click on it and changes your kid's diaper,
or gives you chicken soup.
Yeah, or gives you chicken soup. Depends on But it depends on the color variation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the other thing with Samsung. They're saying that the phones are going to come out and I believe it's 3 colors, and I think the light is going to have a yellow, something like that. So you know what Samsung always does? They come out and then they switch
2
the
months
colors.
later.
Like a month later, they'll say we have Arctic white or silver and black, and the colors that people really wanted after you spent your $1,092.
and it will.
Well, kind of like OnePlus does with the red phones.
And my wife is in the room, by the way. She's saying hello to everybody. Hi, honey.
Hello, Patricia.
There's the lady who made some great chicken soup.
There you go. Well, obviously, because you're better.
Yes, I'm
Pat,
better.
you're doing something right.
Like this is crazy. I don't know. You know, the camera's going to be better. I think one of them's supposed to have a triple camera, which I don't really like how Samsung does that either. It's kind of like Apple, but Samsung is I think they're taking it a little too far now. I think the one is going to have 3 cameras. Do both of the other ones have 2, or does the Lite only have 1? I think the Plus has 3.
And the Plus has the 3, right?
And I
forgot what the Lite even looked like.
Let me see. So 5.8 inch for the Lite, 6.1 for the regular S10, 6.4 for the S10 Plus. Flat screen. The bigger models get the curved display. So see, to me, I would get the cheaper one because I like a flat screen. I don't like the curves. The Lite model's the only one that doesn't have the in-display fingerprint sensor. But for $885, that's too much money. The regular is going to have a single lens selfie camera, while the that's what it is. The S10 Plus gets a dual selfie, and I think.
Dual selfie.
The cameras, but I think the S10 Plus gets 3 cameras on the back, and the other one has 2.
Wait. Will, now my wife's here. Ask my wife, is it okay to buy the one with 1,000 tera?
Pat, Mike wants to buy. He told me he's getting it. He wants me to ask permission from you. He already told me he's got the money under the mattress. He's buying he's buying the S10 Plus in March. It's got 12 gigs of RAM and 1 terabyte of storage. It's only $1,819 plus tax.
That's all.
That's $1,819 on that.
He said it was okay with you, and he already had it green lit. He had the videos coming. He was starting production coming in April. He just wanted us to to let you know.
We'll break the news on here live. Yeah, hon.
1819 plus tax.
I think she just clicked off. Hold on, I hear steps. Somebody come up the steps.
Mike, did she get the axe off the wall?
Yeah.
So at this rate, if Mike takes a beating, Will's the one who will have to go to jail.
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
No, I'll be coming over at Will's house to stay. Don't forget he's nearby. Okay,
that's true.
Accessory for murder, right?
Yeah,
Mike. It's only gonna be. You figure if you add the tax, you only be paying $1,900.
I was gonna say $1,900. And,
well, look, they
got
the. Look, there isn't any money. She said.
She's already been under the mattress. Okay, good for you.
Yeah, she got the money already.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, but no.
If this is their pricing strategy for real, I see them. This is going to be a down year.
Honey, it's low financing. 36 months. We already financed cars at 6 years. So let's do 3 years on a phone.
Make sure you call Geico and put insurance on it.
Yeah, really.
Can you imagine that?
6 Louise is making a point. One of them is coming in a ceramic back. That's true.
I think they all are, aren't they?
No, I think only one version is coming with the ceramic back, as far as I remember.
Let me see. It says the S10 Plus will have 2. Oh, okay, yeah, 2 unique colors, but it won't have the ceramic back.
Right.
Oh man, that just takes it out. That just takes the fun out. You know what I mean, guys?
Yeah. Mike, go to the next story. I'll be right back.
All right. Hold on. Let me go get it. Go ahead. Go. Put yourself on silent. He didn't do that. Did he put himself on silent?
He wants us to hear the kids abusing him. I guess.
Yeah. Next story. Let's see here.
The foldable Samsung.
Yeah, you know what, George? What's going on? All of a sudden, this is the hot thing. First, we had notches. Now we got foldable phones.
I think 2019 is going to be the year of the foldables. Certainly looks that way to me.
According to the story, Samsung is promising a foldable phone. Rumors to be the Galaxy X, Galaxy F, Galaxy Flex, or Galaxy Fold.
Okay, yeah.
In the first half of 2019.
Right,
and
so people are
between now and June.
Right, but people are expecting it in a few weeks at MWC in Barcelona. Now, nobody's sure that that's going to happen, but that's when most people are thinking it's going to get revealed.
Now, they do have a point in the article, especially when Xiaomi has just stolen Samsung's thunder with a trifold prototype that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and folks, go look at my website, mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. No, I'm sorry. Go look on my videos. Mobile Geezer, the latest video I put up yesterday, has that trifold foldable phone from Xiaomi, and it looked pretty cool to me.
Yeah, but what's the point of foldable? What do you think? What's the advantage here, George?
Well,
what do you think?
The basic idea seems to be you have a tablet and you fold it, and now you have a phone. It seems to be what everybody's trying to do: phone, tablet, phone, tablet.
And what are we going to have? Are they going to be optimized, the apps and the OS?
And well, that's the thing in the story. Is anybody? All these developers, are they going to redo all their apps for these foldable phones? Right. I think they may run into a problem with that.
Right, and normally we would see by now, or hints, we would get like hints of certain updates that are coming down the pike for such a foldable device. Wouldn't you think?
Exactly, but if any of the, and they were saying in the story, they're expecting the big app makers to be first.
Of course.
If that's true, we don't know that Samsung or Xiaomi or some of these companies haven't already been in touch with them and put them under an NDA where they can't talk about it. But maybe they're working on it. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, guys. What are we talking about?
Talking about the foldable phone, Samsung and Xiaomi.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem.
and Will, this is going to be the new thing. We had the notch.
Yeah, that's this year's thing.
Yeah.
Right. What is the foldable phone accomplishing?
That's what Mike just asked me. And it's the point seems to be tablet phone. That seems to be the main point.
So I think I don't know if it was the Samsung one or the Xiaomi one of them said it's going to be like 7 inches when you open it up to tab.
Yes, that was the Xiaomi. Yeah. That's the one I put the video up on yesterday.
The S10 Plus is what, 6.4. So the Note has to be like 6.8 or something like that. Some crazy, So if the foldable phone isn't going to have a pen, what use are you getting out of it?
Well, keep in mind that the story says Samsung's foldable phone is said to have a 4.5-inch screen on the outside and a 7.3 on the inside. So it'll be bigger than any of the other phones.
I don't know. I guess I just don't see the point if you're not giving me a stylus or something. And then you got to listen to the podcast today, George. They were talking
Android Central.
The Android Central. They were talking about saying after folding it so many times, is it going to leave a crease on the plastic part? You know what I mean? And
and that's going to be a big deal.
And then Jerry was saying with the battery, because you can't fold the battery over, so there's probably 2 batteries connected with a cable.
Right. Yeah, and 1 battery is much more efficient than 2 batteries.
He made a joke. He was just like, I hope it doesn't explode. He was like, because, with all the, I don't know. I wasn't buying it anyway, but
I had that's an interesting thing because I just caught it. I'm perusing through this article and they did mention the most recent foldable phone was the Axon M. And one of the things that they noted is how unbalanced it was with the battery being on one of those folds.
Right, but keep in mind the Axon M when we're talking foldable phones now, we're talking the screen itself folds. The Axon M did not have a
Yeah, the
foldable
Axon
screen. It was just
had
two,
Right,
it was
right.
two slabs hinged together. So it's different.
But to the point of being the battery, how are they going to manage to get where they're going to position the battery in this?
Yeah, I agree.
How are they going to prevent it from? Now you're flexing things. You know what I mean? How rigid is the center
And
chassis going to be?
Well, looking at the Xiaomi video from yesterday, when he folded the two sides back, and then you had a main screen in front of you, I'm thinking the battery's got to be there and no place else. Because one battery is going to work. Two batteries,
right.
Probably an issue.
And I want to see is Jerry Rig take it apart.
Oh yeah. You know he'll be all over that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Can you see him with the scratching?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's scratch on where the crease would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not going to survive the bend test.
No.
Well, it'll survive the initial bend test if you bend it at the two places it's supposed to be bent. So you're saying Jerry Rig's going to get all bent out of shape?
Oh.
Yeah, I guess I don't see the point in it folding. I really don't.
I see. I guess, and we're all different. Me being me, I just love something different. So if the Xiaomi phone comes out at some kind of affordable price, $600, I'll probably be all over it.
Even for that, I don't think I could. I don't know. I just think of all problems.
Wait a minute. And is it going to have 5G, guys? Okay.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Oh, they didn't even mention that in the article. But
no, they didn't.
Wait till we get to that next thing, Mike. I don't even want to talk about it yet.
Well, what I said weeks ago in one of my stories on my website, I would not buy a 5G phone until 2020. That's just me.
That's like Jerry said in the article. He wouldn't buy a foldable phone this year. He said, I would wait and let your techie neighbor who wants to be the first one be the person to buy it because he was like, it's going to have problems.
And even in this article, they kind of said Samsung would be depending on future devices.
Samsung is going to take a crazy loss when they put this out. They're gonna
and they're expecting Samsung to take a loss, much like they did when the Note first came out.
Yeah. I don't know. I think honestly, I don't think I'll ever see one of these anywhere. I don't think I'll ever see somebody using it.
What about Will? What about when Apple going to come out with their own foldable?
But see, Apple's never going to come out with a foldable phone because it's like
never.
Apple's boring.
How about iPad?
George, Apple's boring, and Apple knows already. Like they when they wanted to come out with a bigger screen, they came out with an iPad. Android was like the opposite. They like making the phones bigger. They're making the phones bigger, and then you're going to try to put out a bigger. It's not even that much bigger, but a little bit bigger phone that folds. That's right. It don't make sense. There's no point to it.
It doesn't. But let's keep something in mind. What drove the big phones? Who wanted the big phones? Well, the Oriental market is what drove it because they love big phones. Well, maybe they're driving this too, And what's the biggest phone market on earth? Well, China. Way bigger than anybody else's.
What's this, Daddy?
So that may be what's driving it.
It's too, I don't know. To me, it's too expensive, and it's not even like a niche market. It's just that it's
not enough. Yeah, we don't know if it's going to be a niche market.
You think it's going to be just a Halo project? Just for now, I
think everybody just wants to be the first ones to do it. And once it flops, people are going to, they're going to realize like, all right, we messed up. I think this year is going to be like a throwaway year for the phones. Maybe next year, everybody will come back down to earth and do like Samsung will be normal again.
Yeah, but keep in mind, one of the problems that everybody's saying with 2018 is Samsung sales fell off, Apple sales fell off, things have flattened out. So if they wait till next year and come back with the same old, well, their sales are going to
Yeah,
fall off more.
but George, wait. The reason that the sales fell off isn't because, all right, if Samsung came out with this phone this year, people wouldn't have said, okay, I'm going to get rid of my phone that's working great and go buy a foldable phone just because it folds.
Okay.
You know what I mean? The sales didn't fall off because the phones were boring. The phones fell off because the phones have been good. So
well, everybody who writes big time websites and has big time channels disagrees with you. They're all saying that people are bored. They're all saying that that's why Apple and Samsung had a problem last year. Now you're talking the two biggest sales on earth.
Nobody goes out and buys their iPhone because it's exciting. Like if you weren't going to buy a phone anyway, right? If your phone works and you're like, all right, I can either give Samsung $850 or give Apple $750 and buy an iPhone XR, let's say the cheapest one.
Mm-hmm.
But my phone is still working. You're not just going to be like, I'll buy it because this one folds. And
you're right, and that's what they've all been saying the last 6 months of last year, that people are hanging on to their phones because they're still working. So sales are falling off.
But there's
so let's say you're right, and the foldable phones flopped this year. Are they going to go back to the sales that were falling off? I don't think that's a good idea.
No, but I think, all right, if people aren't drawn to the foldable phones this year, right?
They have to come up with something else, I think.
Yeah,
but I don't think they're going to come back and say, all right, we're going to try foldable phones again next year.
No. I agree with you. If they totally flop this year, what it sounds like what you're saying is they're going to go back to the same type of phones they made in 2018. Well, obviously that's not going to work. That's my point.
All right, so what's the difference? All right, the phone folds. What else is different between the folding phone and
nothing?
Yeah, so
right.
With a bigger screen.
There's no but you can just make a bigger screen. There's no point in coming out with
I see your point, but what I'm saying is, if the foldable phones flop, where do they go for 2020? Well, they certainly can't go back to making 2018 type phones because people weren't buying those.
I think they will. I think they're like
So people are bored in 2018 and 2020. All of a sudden, they're not bored with the same design. That doesn't make sense.
I don't think people are bored with the phone. I think people are satisfied with their phones because no matter what, the phone's plateaued, and your phone folding isn't some great new technology. The phone.
Well, they're hoping it is. That's the point.
But it's not though. Like that's like saying your car can drive. And in order for them to make you buy another car, they can't make it fly, but they added, you know what I mean?
But or whatever. Displays are a new technology. You can't say that's not new technology.
It's new technology for a tech person or a person who's making it.
New technology for anybody, because nobody's ever had one.
George, what's the foldable phone doing for you every day that your phone that you have can't do?
Nothing.
So it's nothing
other than opening up into a tablet. So
what's moving a regular person to go buy that?
Probably nothing. You're probably right.
That's why it's going to flop, because the price is going to have to be too high for them to even recoup money off of it.
Well, see, that's where I'm hoping Xiaomi comes in at something reasonable as compared to Samsung, which that's going to be $1,800, $1,900. You know,
I was trying to see Insane Shane posted something and said he misses his NV2. And I just Googled it. I said, well, okay, now I know what it is. Yeah. Well, there's something that got away. And I don't know, maybe we'll revert back. Retro's cool. Think about it.
Razer is betting on it right now.
What? Is it a keyboard?
Razer is coming back with a
flip phone.
The Motorola Razer. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everybody's hyped up over that one.
Yeah.
That's an interesting point that he had.
But I don't know. I haven't seen too many of them. The flip phone, don't they flip like the opposite way? Like Razer, that phone is making it smaller. Like, you know what I mean? It's going like you're folding the phone down. On the other phone, doesn't it flip sideways?
Yes, you're right. Yes.
So you're not.
The Razer phone is a different goes one way while the others all go the other way. Yeah, one goes vertical, the others go horizontal.
You're not saving me no space in my pocket. Not that I would buy the Razer phone either. So
that's true.
I don't know. I can't see this being a a big hit. I think it's going to flop. I can't imagine what AT&T will ask you for in monthly payments to have one.
Except, I mean, let's face it, Samsung is by far the biggest phone maker on earth and the biggest phone seller on earth, way above everybody else. So they've been working on this for 5 years, and it may be like the Note. Everybody thought the Note wouldn't sell. Well, the Note ended up being the best phone they ever made year after year. Maybe it is the same strategy. I don't know.
But I think the Note is different again, though, George, because not just the Note, but even now with the S10 about to come out,
right?
I think they're at the point now where phones are, you know what I mean, where people are like, all right, this is too big now.
But what were they saying when the very first Note came out? Everybody thought they were crazy. Everybody thought it was way too big. No, and it's never going to sell.
But what you're going to have soon, the phone is going to be 7 inches.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I want to just add this then.
How big was the Mega? You remember the Mega, the Samsung Mega? You ever?
Yeah,
that was the name. I never saw one in person.
Nobody. I seen one of those. Nobody was. She was the only one I seen with it. Nobody was buying that, and she must have bought it. She was from the Philippines. She probably bought it over there. Nobody.
That's the thing. In the Orient, they love these gigantic phones. That's true.
That was like sticking a tablet to your ear.
Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly what it was.
I think it's just too big, and if they keep,
and I think that's part of what's driving this foldable thing. How can we make it bigger but let them put it in their pocket? Well, with a foldable, you can kind of do that, I guess, right? At least that Xiaomi one you could,
to me, it's just problems.
But I'm the same as you. You could, because I have to go back to the same thing you're saying. What are they thinking? Well, I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not sure.
Well, let's wait for a moment. Let's talk about that Razer phone, and just to a point, Insane Shane's saying about, could we go retro here? Could we go back to a flip phone? Samsung already did that, didn't they? Came out with a flip phone. It had a decent sized chipset. It was a smartphone.
And that had some success in the Orient, but not anywhere else.
Well, but now the Razer phone is, and for a moment, George, I thought you meant by Razer like the gaming phone.
No. I'm talking about the
Motorola. The old Motorola, right? Now that's supposed to be a folding phone with a screen, if I read correctly, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's another bendable, foldable phone in a way.
Yeah, because when you open this, I'm looking at the picture of it now. When you open this thing up, the entire thing, it looks like it's screened. That's what it looks like.
Right. So I don't know. It kind of slowly, we're kind of into that one direction. We're trying. It's one of the stories we're going to talk about is that video of in a way. But I want to
George's friend.
Well, I don't, I just have my opinion.
No, you do.
I was subscribed to the guy for about 6 months.
Yeah, but I don't know. I can't see the foldable thing. We'll see in a couple. When's it supposed to come out? A couple months, right? We'll see how.
Yeah. Aren't people expecting the Samsung foldable in MWC?
I guess I'm not.
Well, Lady Argo said it's the first half of 2019.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll have a special event. I would think they'll have a special event, personally.
They were saying that on the podcast that they think Samsung needs to release it separate and not step all over the
S10. Okay.
Yeah, but
exactly.
There's been a lot of speculation. Will or will they not reveal it with the S10?
And real quick, guys, but about the S10 and the prices. Let's be real here. They're going to come out with these ridiculous prices, and then a month later or weeks later, they're going to have a BOGO. They're going to have that.
Oh, yeah, they're going to have to.
Or they're going to have a trade-in and some ridiculous price to trade in your old S9. You know what I mean?
Here's what I'm wondering.
That would make sense, because this is what they typically do. Oh, we're making your brother sleepy, Mike.
We thought...
What?
We thought that the Note 9 was expensive. So when they do the trade-in, what kind of deal is Samsung going to give you if you trade in your Note 9 towards the S? That's what I want to see. Like, how much is the phone?
The S10? Okay.
Yeah, I want to see what kind of deal they're going to offer, because that's really crazy. Because even if you just bought a note, you just spent $1,000. They would have to. They got to give you like $600 to make that worth it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
They have to. They have to give you like $600 to make it worth trading in your phone. That's too much. That's too much of a loss only in a couple months.
Oh,
It's
they
gonna be
did it. Don't they
interesting.
do it all the time? Will, don't they?
Yeah,
All these ridiculous.
But now they're at the $1,000. And we already know they're gonna have a Fortnite skin or some kind of exclusive
Some kind of deal,
headphones and probably a watch. They're gonna give you a charger.
But remember when the
yeah.
S9 and S9 Plus came out a couple of months later, there was a lot of BOGO deals going on there too.
Mm-hmm. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
So these prices, it's just beating their chests to show who can outprice, who can, have the most expensive phone. They only have heavy discounts afterwards. And look, Apple's doing it now to a point, right?
That's
Aren't
true.
they have that?
That's
Yeah.
Trade in an old phone, you get an XR real on the cheap.
Yep.
not even the price, man. It's the value of the phone. That's the thing. The value of the phone drops as soon as you buy it. When you can go to T-Mobile and get a buy one get one free, you'll go and swap them. People are going to be selling them for.
Yeah.
That.
What was that? What was the phone that? Oh, the G7. Remember all them?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! It was.
That's right. The day they came out, practically people were selling them because they were doing the BOGO deals. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I just can't. I don't think it's going to turn around at all. We'll get to it later, but I kind of feel like your friend does, George. But we did that was the Samsung foldable, right?
Yeah.
So
and now, Android Q going to SIM block.
Oh
Yeah,
did you read that, Mike? I don't really like that story.
Yeah, well, you take that because I'm not sure I'm getting it.
All right.
I read the story.
Looks like when Android Q comes out, there's going to be, says, quote unquote, more ways for the carriers to SIM lock your phone, which is, George, where they'll basically make it so that you can only use an AT&T SIM or a T-Mobile SIM. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I understand that, but what is it in Android Q that's going to make that easier for them? That's what I'm not getting.
They said, let me see, let me find it in the article.
Well, it has to be something in the software then that
yeah,
going to trip it off.
It's like in the code. There's a let me see. In the code management, there's a code section that says it's titled Carrier Restriction Enhancements for Android Q. It says network carriers will have more fine-grained control over
yeah, what the heck does that mean?
Will and will not work. So I'm guessing like they'll be able to say this phone can't work on our network and this one can. And then it
says it will be possible to designate a list of allowed and excluded carriers.
But the part that I didn't like was even if you have a dual SIM phone, they'll be able to make sure that your other SIM won't work unless
it's theirs.
Like you won't be able to put, let's say,
they're the preferred carrier.
Yeah,
they would overrule the second SIM.
Right. Well, so why would Google give them that? I don't understand why Google would give them that.
Let's say you have a dual SIM phone. Let's say you're OnePlus. If you don't have a T-Mobile SIM in one of those slots, you can't use a SIM from another country. If you went to another, you know what I mean? They're going to
another carrier
be able to do it like that.
Yeah.
Like unless the first one is an approved SIM card, you can't use the other one.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
But according to this, the last sentence in the story says, looks like buying an unlocked phone instead of one from a carrier will become more important in Android Q and beyond.
Which is
obviously they can only do that if you buy it through them.
Yeah, if you buy a locked phone, which is how most people buy them, because who's buying a $885 Samsung S10?
Yeah.
But if you get that phone unlocked, are you suggesting it will be unlocked, but it won't be able to go to another carrier? Is that what's going to happen?
No. If it's
but the last line of the story is saying if you buy it unlocked, then you can do what you do today, put whatever SIM you want in.
But what happens if I buy a T-Mobile phone, I pay it off, I get it unlocked like my wife's old Stylo?
Yeah, and that's what I did with.
and I could go to AT&T or Simple Mobile or whatever. In other words, that SIM won't work in that phone.
Well, no, I'm still
dependent on the
thinking
carrier.
if you have paid it off and you're getting it unlocked, I'm still thinking they have to unlock it for anybody. I don't think they could change that because that would start getting them lawsuits.
Yeah, that's what I'm stressed. I'm not stressing. It just seems weird that you've gone through the measures of paying off the phone.
Right.
You should have the ability to take that phone to wherever you.
Right.
You should.
Yeah. Well,
you
I would believe that once you pay off the phone and have it unlocked, then you're good to go.
So what's
So
the
I don't
big deal?
really get
What's
the
the big
point.
deal with this? I don't get this yet because a carrier locked phone's a carrier locked phone.
I agree.
Until you pay it off, you
Right.
can't use it only except for that network.
Exactly. So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not sure I'm getting the points.
But it's saying they're going to be able to designate which. Let me see. Designate a list of allowed and excluded carriers.
Yeah. So you're saying a white list and a black list,
So-
basically.
So it must be like for the phone. I don't know. Maybe they mean like per phone. Like let's say you have an AT&T phone, you might not be able to take it to another carrier and use it.
But
You know
like
what I mean?
Mike said, suppose you paid it off and have it unlocked.
But maybe you still can't. Maybe AT&T or whoever is going to designate where you can use it at.
Right.
Okay, well
Right.
then in that point, then what that's saying is it doesn't matter if you paid it off because they're not unlocking it, period.
It says
Well-
a white list of what can be used or what
Right.
will and will not work on a particular phone.
Right, right. So
And
Now,
then
will
all
it be-
the other ones are
this says
blacklisted.
after that, this can be done with a fine-grained detail to even allow blocking virtual carrier networks that run on the same tower as your main carrier. So that's
Right.
like saying you won't even be able to use, like you were saying, Mike, AT&T might not allow you to use their MVNO's network, even though
Exactly.
it's the same thing.
Mhm.
Exactly, exactly.
But it makes it worse because if 5G is going to be, like they were saying, an AT&T 5G phone might not work to get 5G on T-Mobile, let's say, even though we know 5G is far away.
Well, yeah, all
You know
the
what I
stories
mean?
are saying that
So-
all the 5G phones coming out are going to be totally locked to one
So
to the
if
carrier.
that's locked, and then if you go buy an unlocked phone, most likely AT&T is not going to let you use their 5G. We already know they don't give you no
Well, that's
extra
probably true.
features on their unlocked phones. So it's
Right.
they're really, like they were saying before I seen this article months ago, they were saying once like 5G and all this stuff comes out, it's going to really be whatever carrier you have.
Right.
This is the way that the carrier is going to keep you on their network.
And that's how your 5G will be, and you won't have 5G anyplace
Yeah.
else.
If you get an unlocked phone, you're not going to be able to use your network's your company's 5G.
It,
That's how they're
it
gonna
seems
keep
to
it loyal.
it seems to me that Google may be building this into Android Q, but I got to think if the carriers try doing this, they're going
Yeah,
to
they're
be
gonna have
abandoning it quickly because they're going to get an awful lot of lawsuits. And if they get a lot of lawsuits, they're not going to keep it around long, or they're not going to try to get away with it.
Well, yeah. Well, I just realized. See this phone that's perfectly stuck on Android 7? Maybe it's the best thing for it, right?
Yeah,
Right?
right? Don't
You know?
stop upgrading. Yeah.
No, really. I don't know. Now it's starting to scare me. Maybe.
Now,
Maybe.
Gary Brown is saying maybe Google will only let you use the Pixel phones on Verizon and Google Fi.
Ooh,
maybe so.
Man.
And then somebody posted in the comments, they just surpassed Apple in stupidity.
I agree.
Yeah, like
This seems like a very stupid
I said I
idea.
wanted Google to go more like Apple. I didn't mean this. This is really like
See, be careful what you.
this is really bad. Well, I'm George. I'm on the other side anyway, so I'm all right. This won't be affecting me. This is crazy.
Hear that, Mike? He's on the dark side. That's
Oh, yeah. He's on the dark side with an IV of apple juice. Okay.
exactly.
And then somebody else put in the comments, seems like a specific thing for the U.S. market. I've dealt with AT&T's restrictions in the past, like no hotspot possible, and that's like with their unlocked phones, you lose half your features. So it's kind of like it's already happening, and Google is going to make it even easier for the carriers to do this.
Exactly.
Because that's like if I get an unlocked S9 and put an AT&T SIM card in it, if I go to like the app, the settings and go to the applications and all that and see all the things in it, I'll see where it'll say Sprint services. If I take the AT&T SIM card out and put a T-Mobile in, it resets the phone, and then I'll have Wi-Fi calling, visual voicemail pops up. If I put AT&T in there, it all goes away. So now Google is making it easier for them to restrict what you can do on your phone.
Exactly. I just think they're going to end up with a lot of lawsuits.
And I wonder, though, too, which is real quick, how about the influx of Chinese phones or overseas phones coming to America?
Right.
Do you think this is a response to it because Xiaomi's coming out with all these phones? Maybe there's a little bit of a uptick.
Yeah, and Xiaomi's gotten kind of successful in America with it too.
Right, and I'm just saying, try and prevent from people getting these other phones and say, "Oh no, only use our AT&T phone or our T-Mobile phone only."
Yeah.
Now, you have T-Mobile.
Yes.
When you had the Essential phone, and you put your T-Mobile SIM in there, did you get Wi-Fi calling and all of that?
I believe I did. Yeah.
Yeah, and so did I. Every phone that I put my T-Mobile card in that has Wi-Fi calling available, it works automatically, just like the OnePlus 6T.
I'm interested to see what T-Mobile does as far as their 5G. I already know AT&T and Verizon; they're not going to let nobody else use their 5G.
Yeah, I agree.
Unless you have a phone branded from them. I want to see what T-Mobile does.
Yes, that would be interesting because it's the kind of thing that John Legere would say, "See, we don't do this to you." It's the kind of thing he would do,
Yeah, I want to see what he does because this is getting crazy now. And then whenever, I guess in the next 5 years when Apple comes out with their 5G, I wonder if all the carriers are still going to be, I guess it's not nice, but like Apple, if you go any network, you're always going to have your visual voicemail, your Wi-Fi calling,
right.
I wonder if and even with the George, I don't know if you're using it with the eSIM. eSIM,
I'm not using
basically Apple has eSIM after Google, but if you go to any carrier, the only people they accept it for is Apple.
Oh, really?
You can't use eSIM on Verizon, even though if you have an iPhone, they'll let you do it. But if you have a Pixel, they act like eSIM doesn't exist. And the Pixel 2 had it before the iPhone.
Right.
So they kind of bend over backwards. And I know AT&T has eSIM for AT&T already. And I think
eSIM is supposed to let you use whoever you want, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point of it. But it seems like with a Pixel, they won't let you use the eSIM on Verizon.
Right, that's interesting.
But on Apple, it's like you would think Apple was the first one who came with an eSIM phone.
Yeah, exactly.
They're the ones who revolutionized eSIM.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
great. So it's becoming down to who's going to have complete control of us: the carriers, Google, Facebook, or the politicians.
Facebook.
They're all fighting for complete control of us.
Facebook, yeah. This is crazy. I read that headline. I said, that's not the way Android Q was supposed to go.
No,
1984, Big Brother is watching. They're just a little later than 1984. That's all it is.
I don't understand how it doesn't benefit anybody but the carrier. I don't know why.
No, it benefits the carrier. Yeah,
I don't know why.
You can't go nowhere
with it though. Why would Google want to?
That's what I don't get. Why would Google do this?
That's really crazy.
There's nothing in it for Google, as far as I can say, unless he's right about them letting it use the Pixel phones only on Verizon and Google Fi.
I just can't. That's just insane. That what they're thinking of doing. So.
Yeah, well, it seems like they want to do it. Yep. Seems like Google doesn't care what you think, Mike.
So see, they are becoming more like Apple. There you go.
They are, yeah. But I wanted them to become more like Apple with exclusivity, but not exclusivity where you can't leave your carrier.
Right. And it seems like you're going to be penalized. You got to. I think maybe it's also the unlock phones. They're trying to control what comes on. I
think you may be right, Mike. I think the whole.
No, I'm just saying the Chinese ones. I'm just saying go out and buy.
I'm thinking that might be part of it, like you said.
Yeah, but
So
like Samsung and who else comes out with unlocked? LG, I guess, to a lesser extent.
LG,
Nobody, Motorola, but people don't really buy. I know Samsung anyway. Samsung always says they don't sell a lot of unlocked phones because nobody wants to pay the upfront. And it's kind of like if I don't know, I buy them unlocked too. But if I was to buy,
it's only us techies that do. Yeah,
it's like I kind of feel dumb afterwards because if I'm staying on AT&T and I buy an unlocked phone for Samsung, I can't get my visual voicemail. I can't get Wi-Fi calling. You lose so much. It's like just to have an unlocked phone that Samsung's not going to update anyway.
And that's
the carrier penalizing you for that because we get it on our unlocked phones.
But you think it's the carrier. I don't. I think it's Samsung because Samsung, and they even said that the reason the unlocked phone takes so long for the update is because they have to make it so that it works on AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Simple, everybody. So the update is going to take longer. But the length of time that it takes for Samsung to update a phone is ridiculous when it's unlocked. Sometimes you don't even see the update. AT&T
and the unlocked is going to be at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And I'm paying more for it because they're not giving me a buy one get one or a free TV with my unlocked.
Well, you never know.
I have in mind spending the money for my last two phones, both the OnePlus 6T and the iPhone, both T-Mobile phones. Well, I'm not going away from T-Mobile anytime soon, so I didn't know.
That kind of, and I don't like the bloat that they put on the phone, but that seems like that's more the smart decision because look what happened to you, Mike. You bought your LG phone unlocked and it never got an update.
No.
Yeah.
No, exactly. I know. Very, very. Yeah.
That's
they
true.
pass the blame around. They tell you it's the carrier, but it's got it. It's kind of the carrier, but I guess LG just doesn't care. But I know they've asked Samsung before, and they said because it has to get so much approval and work.
So many approvals, and there's special programming for every step along the way.
Yeah. And they sell less of them, so they're not in a rush to push out the update for the unlock.
Exactly.
As much as we would like it, but that's why you just stick with Apple, Mike. Just stick with Apple.
Well, wait a minute. Now, that's Andrew. I was going to say, what happens about what are they going to do? I guess Apple rules so heavily that if you buy an unlocked Apple phone, you won't get these problems.
Apple phone, you can go to any network you want. You can go
there'll be no repercussions from it. What I'm getting
at. Keep in mind when you talk about Apple ruling, you're only talking the United States. Well, this is not the big market anymore. We Americans like to think it's a big, and it is a big market, but it's not the big market.
No.
And look at Huawei. They can't sell crap here, and they're doing just fine in Asia and Europe, and it seems like they're selling phones like out the wazoo. So I think we need to stop thinking that the United States is the big deal with phones. I don't think it is anymore. I think they're kind of third or fourth down now.
It's not, but for what affects me, Apple has got the best.
for what affects you, right, but if I'm Samsung and Huawei and Xiaomi, I'm looking at what's the world market doing as opposed to the United States market. And if the United States market is going to screw me, well, then I'll just stop making stuff in the United States.
They're smart.
Look, I would love to get the Honor View 20, but it's highly unlikely that it's going to come to the U.S. because it's a sub-brand of Huawei, and Huawei is selling them like crazy in Europe.
Well, you saw the article, was it last week, where they're trying to keep getting their stuff out of the thing. They're going to end up being gone. Them and I think it was ZTE. There was an article.
Right, and I think what's going to happen in the long run, at least with Huawei, I don't think they're going to give a crap.
Yeah,
because the United States just isn't important enough for them money-wise anymore for them to worry about it. As long as they can sell like crazy in Asia and Europe. Yeah.
See, with me, George, like the thing that I want is, let's say even with RCS, we can go to RCS or to Wi-Fi calling. If I get accustomed to using Wi-Fi calling, and let's say a company has a better deal, so I leave AT&T and go to that company with my unlocked phone or whatever, I want to know that when I go to that company, I'm not going to have a problem using Wi-Fi calling.
Well, then you have to
Only
come to
way-
T-Mobile because T-Mobile lets Wi-Fi calling be on like everything. You know.
The only way that I'll know that I'll get the same features every carrier is
Mhm.
with an iPhone.
Okay, but like I say, if you want Wi-Fi calling, well, all my phones have that practically on
Yeah.
T-Mobile.
I know T-Mobile does, but I'm saying let's
Right.
say I wanted to go to Verizon.
No, I think T-Mobile's the only one that does
Yeah,
that.
that's what I mean. Verizon might not give me Wi-Fi
Right.
calling or
I
visual
agree.
email or RC
Yeah.
or T-Mobile won't give me RCS or.
Yeah, that's probably true.
The only way I'm going to get everything is to stick with an
Use
iPhone,
an iPhone.
and I
Yeah,
can go
that
to
makes sense.
prepaid
Yeah.
anywhere, and you're going to get
And
all-
eSIM also.
Yeah, you're going to get eSIM, you're going to get iMessage. So for me, that's the best bet.
Okay.
Because the way this is looking now, not the way it's looking, the way it's been since the unlocked phones came out with Android with the carriers is they don't respect you. They don't respect you unless you buy your phone from them.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, it just occurred to me, going back to the foldables, the video I made yesterday, one of my subscribers actually said, this is probably a phone I would buy. This was a very non-tech person. So that stuck with me, you know.
He said he would buy it?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was a she, actually. But that just struck me. Here's a non-techie who kind of liked the idea of that phone, you know.
Yeah,
Trying to find. I
I
thought
like
I
that,
saw.
but- What are you looking for, Mike? The ZTE thing?
No. There was an article about Huawei phones and getting possibly banned. Give me a
Oh,
second.
yeah, it was looking Telegram. Go to the Telegram, the Friday night Telegram one. It's in there. Let me see.
In the United States or somewhere else, Mike?
It's in there. Like last week, I posted it. They were saying they were working on getting ZTE and some more of their stuff banned. Like they're they're
In
trying
the
to
United States, though, right?
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought I saw.
Keep,
Yeah, I
keep
think
looking.
we're going to become a write-off to Huawei, you know. And my guess is they're going to just keep on making money.
Wow, I sworn I just saw it today, and I get a chance to grab the article, but
George, here goes the one that we missed, I think, last week. This AirPods one. You want to get this one?
No, sure. Let me get out. Okay. Okay, this was interesting because you and I both had these. I wouldn't do this. But the heading says Apple AirPod. This is from Digital Trends. Apple AirPods may be used to spy on conversations, but please don't. So in the article, it says the iOS 12 update, which we all have that now. We're on 12.3, right? Added the live listen feature to the AirPods. The AirPods, folks, are what I'm wearing right here in my ears, and so is Will. Previously reserved for hearing aid certified under the Made for iPhone hearing aid program, Live Listen allows the iPhone to be used as a directional microphone in the AirPods as hearing aid in situations such as a noisy restaurant. So it tells you how to go into settings and activate the feature. So once you activate the Live Listen feature in your AirPods, you can put your phone down. Let's say you're at a party, and you can put your phone down in one room where people are talking, and you can go into the other room and you can listen to everything they're saying. So that's the crux of it. It lets you spy on people, you know.
It's not funny, George, but I mean,
it's not funny at all.
It's not what it was intended for. It's people are
Yeah.
using it the wrong way. It was supposed to be like if
No, not the wrong way. The immoral way, I would say.
Yeah, you know.
But of course, the person who's doing that, he goes into the other room, and now they're talking about him. Well, what's he going to do? Come in mad? Now they know he was listening? I don't think he can do anything about it, you know.
Yeah, but I guess he got secret information or whatever he wanted. So
yeah, that's pretty low down. I'll say that.
It is. But if you look at the feature, actually, I'm surprised nobody else came up with that. With that kind of a feature being built into the phone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
yeah, that seems like that's one where Apple is one up on everybody.
Yeah, like I didn't even know it was in there, but then when I heard about it, I went and
I didn't know until I saw the article last week.
It puts a little ear.
And I didn't even notice that you're not wearing your AirPods tonight.
Oh yeah, these are just headphones. It puts a little ear on your you know, on your.
Yeah, I didn't go and activate it or anything.
Yeah, I didn't use it, but it puts a little ear there, I guess, and you click the ear, and it.
So this has turned into a very eerie conversation.
Yeah, Mike, did you see I sent you the article, the one that I had from Telegram?
Yeah, but oh man, there was another one. There was another one.
I have one other thing. One other thing to say about the AirPod thing. In Pennsylvania, would this be an eerie conversation?
I think so.
I can't help it.
Yeah, I think it will be.
All right, Mike, go for it.
I can't.
So what is it? What is this article that you guys are talking about?
I found one last week. I don't think we talked about it. Where it,
I found something at work today talking about something about the carriers might not support the Huawei phones.
Oh, okay.
But I'm trying to find it. So go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
That was kind of like,
haven't seen that.
Happened last year too. Remember, they were supposed to come out and announce the phone, and they said they were pressured from the government not to. And Verizon and AT&T both pulled out hours.
The partnership the day they were supposed to announce it, right?
Yeah, it was the same day, hours before. Now wait, George, going back to Android Q. Not that many phones are gonna have it. We already know how slow Android is. I think what is this one has like a 5 or 4% adoption rate. But when Android Q comes out, I'm thinking this is how this thing's gonna work. They're gonna be able to blacklist Huawei phones, right?
Well, so far,
you know what I mean?
That the article said they could blacklist carriers. I didn't see anything about blacklisting phones.
Okay. I'm thinking at the carrier because that's my thing. That's why I would never buy a Huawei phone, even now. Even if they had the Mate whatever, but I wouldn't buy it because who knows when they're going to be like, you're not allowed to use those anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they could come up with a way to do it if they wanted to. Yeah. And like I said, that Honor View 20 looks awesome to me, but I don't see it coming here. Yeah.
If they block the phones, that's it.
Yeah.
I down the drain.
Yeah, that View 20 is a shame. That looked like a really sharp phone.
That looked awesome to me, and it's at the kind of OnePlus pricing, so that's like okay, that's pretty doable.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why I couldn't spend that kind of money, and then one day maybe my phone can't
be used. Yeah,
you make a very good point there, sir. Because they probably wouldn't be too difficult to come up with programming to do that.
When I got Adam the Honor 7X or 8X, whatever that one I got for Adam,
the 7X, I believe.
Was it? It was a nice phone. It was hard to sell because it was just really, really just a nice, good feel in the hand, and it just was. It was difficult to get rid of it, to be honest with you. But in a way, I'm glad. Right about the time I was selling it was about when all the trouble started coming. So
this is the Honor 7X, only a little bit better. This is Huawei made SE, and it's a tiny bit better than the 7X. But of course, it's Huawei. They're both the same company,
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is a terrific phone. I just did a video on it the other day.
Yeah.
So what's up there?
All right, we got I guess we can get to this one. I think George posted this one with the Apple sales. The XR, the iPhone XR is the best-selling 2018 model. Yeah. The XS is the worst.
Yeah, and we were talking about how we can't tell, we can't pick them apart. Which one's the XR versus the XS, right?
Well, they said
they're saying the best-selling Apple phone in the first fiscal quarter of 2019, which started in October, is the iPhone XR. And according to this, from October, I guess, through the rest of the year, the XR accounted for a whopping 39% of iPhone sales. And the remarkable thing it says is the iPhone XS and XS Max had a head start because they both came out on September 21st, while the 10R came out in October 26th, more than a month later. And it's still outselling those two double.
Right.
Which to me says people are going for the cheaper phone.
Now, George, here's the thing the article said.
Go ahead.
They said that they found, I guess, doing a survey, because the XR, the storage is, I think, 64 and 256.
Right.
So if you can get a 256 XR for cheaper than you can get, you know what I mean? I don't know what the prices are. So they were saying it seems like people are valuing the storage more than anything else, which is true, because you'll get triple, what is it, 64? You get 4 times the storage.
Exactly.
And you're paying.
Now, of course, we should point out from the very first paragraph, for the first time ever, Apple didn't release its iPhone sales numbers in its most recent quarterly earnings call. However, Consumer Intelligence Research Partner, CIRP, is estimating its own data from a survey of iPhone buyers. So this is by no means official data. This is just a survey of iPhone buyers.
There's Nigel had a question in the room. He says, what do you guys think about the Xiaomi Redmi Note 7? And to be honest, on me, Nigel, I don't have a Xiaomi phone or even that one.
Yeah, I have always kind of meant to get around to the Redmi phones, and I've never gotten back here. I've got the Xiaomi Mi A1 and the Xiaomi Mi A2, both phones, which I think are awesome phones. But I have never gotten a Redmi phone so far.
And Nigel, real quick, my friend Will, he's strictly on the apple juice. He doesn't know any other fluid. So
that's right.
I think Nigel, if you want to see who does have it, Jay Williams has some Redmi phones, and I think Donovan Hornbeck has some Redmi.
How about Nitech? Doesn't Nitech get into that stuff too?
Does he have Redmi? I'm not sure.
Okay, I know he's into Xiaomi phones.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I think Nitech was only buying the Mi phones like me. Me like me. Sounds like double.
I can't believe you just said that. Oh my!
I didn't even realize I said it until after it came out. You know?
Wow!
Wait a minute. Well, I am a singer. Wait a minute. Me. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all about me, Files. All about me.
It is. It really is.
I knew that's where you were going, George.
Oh God.
But at least I didn't go to Me, Tarzan, you Jane.
Yeah, I don't know, George. I think even though Apple sales are down, that's still the best value for the money.
Yeah, and
long term,
and I kind of agree with you because of how long you can keep it and still get your updates. But what's telling to me in this whole scenario of the last 6 or 7 months is the two biggest phone makers, Samsung and Apple, they're having problems selling phones. That says the guy in the video may be right. I don't know.
We talk about it all the time. Before we get to him, this is what I'm thinking. I don't understand how people are surprised. Because, all right, every year, well, not every, I think just about every year, when an iPhone comes out, I know around here, for the past, I think besides last year, there's been lines outside.
Right.
Outside the Apple store, outside AT&T.
Right.
They're back ordered for weeks. Now, that was when the 10 came out. When they came out with the new one, there wasn't, it wasn't as crazy, but people were still outside because I seen on the news.
Yeah, but I do remember seeing stories where the lines weren't anywhere near as long as they normally were.
But I don't see how people are so surprised because Samsung has never had that kind of craziness for their phones. Never. They would.
Yes, but they still outsell everybody else in the world by a ton.
They sell the phones. I know you're talking about everywhere. I'm talking about here. They sell a lot of phones. They sell a lot of phones.
I don't like to limit to the United States.
Look, they sell a lot of phones. But Samsung has phones that are $70, $80, $50.
That's true, but that's not the phones where they kill everybody. The phones where they kill everybody is the high-end phones. They just outsell everybody in the world by a ton with the high-end phones. You know.
But for Apple to have a decline or whatever they're calling it, of course it was going to happen because your phone isn't breaking you know what I mean? Your phone isn't breaking all the time. So even
so you still don't accept all these, you know, the people who are more knowledgeable and in this business way longer than us. You still don't accept that people are kind of bored with the whole thing.
I don't think it's boredom. George, I don't think it's boredom because I don't think a phone isn't a impulse purchase. You don't wake up and say, I'm bored, I'm gonna go spend $1,000.
No. But what some of these bigger guys are saying is people are bored with the same design, so they'll just keep what they got rather than buy a new one.
I don't think it's
spend the money.
Because all right, even if my phone worked, I'm not gonna go buy the Samsung S10 because it folds or because it has a punch hole.
Yeah, but 3 or 4 years ago, a lot of people might have been doing that, buying it because it was the new hotness, and now people aren't doing it anymore because the new hotness looks too much like the old phone.
Yeah, but okay.
George said hot.
George.
Whatever.
George, look at Apple though. Apple had the same phone design for like 5 years. They went with the same phone and it kept selling.
Right.
People were thinking, like you said, like you could look at the surveys and all that stuff. People were thinking like, all right, they're just buying the iPhone because it's new. There was nothing different about it. Those people who kept buying iPhones might have been coming from Android or buying the phone because their phone broke. It just seemed like, you know what I mean? And they were selling a lot of phones. So now when the phone sales for, let's say, the XS are down, because they said that's the worst. So if you have a 10 and you see the XS, you're like, I don't really need that. So you're not.
Yeah, and plus the fact you see an awful lot of videos. Well, I'm agreeing with you. You see an awful lot of videos where at the end of it, they say, if you have a 10, don't go out and buy this. You see a lot of those videos.
So if you have a 10 and that one works, you're not going to buy it. But if you had a 6, which is years old, so you weren't in Apple's sales numbers. So while it looked like they were doing good, they were still declining before, but maybe it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, good point.
So,
very good point.
So then you might say, I don't need to buy the XS. And you can't buy the 10. I'll just buy the XR. So that one looks
that makes perfect sense.
And then if you wanted a bigger phone, you'll buy the XS Max. So next year, when they come out with the 11, all those people who have 10s and XRs, they're not going to go buy an iPhone 11.
No, they're not.
It's not changing that much.
But it kind of goes back to what I kind of been saying for a long time. I think these phone companies are starting to price themselves out of business.
No, but listen, George, Apple's been selling the phones. This is the second year where their phones are $1,000. So
and people are probably getting sick to death of that. That's my point.
But see, I don't think Apple people are getting sick to death of it.
I think everybody's going to get sick of it.
George, I think it's more the people who have Android who were like, the phones are too expensive before. But now, if you look at Android, not techie people, regular people who don't know about OnePlus and all them other phones, they see Samsung phones are just as high. So they can't really complain and laugh at Apple no more.
So what I think from just a pure American point of view, 2 or 3 years now, I think people are just going to say, I'm not paying that for a phone. Period. I don't care who makes the phone. That's what I think is happening.
I think that Apple sales might be going down. And, Apple knows. I'm sure as much as they might say, yeah, we didn't know, whatever, they got to put on a front for you.
They knew.
Yeah, they got to
like Samsung knew.
They have to predict the numbers are going to be good in the beginning.
Exactly.
So invest and be, confident.
Right.
They knew because they already had plans to come out with their services and all that stuff's rolling out. So to me, like the sales thing, I don't think it's as big of a deal as everybody makes it out to be. You know what I mean? For none of the companies really, but for me, more so less with Apple because
maybe, but I still think Americans are going to get to the point where they're just going to refuse to pay that kind of money for anybody's phone.
I don't, because Apple has loyalty, George. Like, to me,
so now you have to weigh loyalty against what people are willing to spend. At some point, people are going to say, I don't have that much loyalty.
Yeah, no, nobody will say that, George, because because
they're stupid.
No, because you.
If they don't say that at some point, they're just plain stupid.
George, you're different, but let's say Mike's mom.
No, you're going to start charging me $2,000 and $3,000 for a phone, and I keep paying it. Stupidity kicks in there somewhere. You can't tell me it doesn't.
George, listen, you're not paying $3,000. Let's say person, George, a regular person who bought an iPhone 10 last year, even if you bought the top of the line and you spent $1,150, that phone is going to last you. You can probably use it for 6-7 years.
I agree.
You have loyalty because you're used to the same thing that we all complain about and say it's boring. You're used to that. Samsung might switch their OS around and add noises, and if you go from just like Mike's mom,
Samsung doesn't change that much.
Listen, let's say George, from the S7 to the S9, they've switched a lot. But let's say
and everybody who's an expert said they switched a lot for the better, not for the worse.
Yeah, but okay, listen. Let's say you give Mike's mom a S6 and then you give her an S9 and see if she's gonna, you know what I mean?
She's gonna like the S9 a lot more. It's a lot better phone.
No, but what I'm saying is she's gonna have a learning curve. So Apple's being boring and all that stuff.
She's not gonna have much of a learning curve. My wife went from an S4 to an S9 without much issue at all.
George,
an S4 we're talking.
She'll have a learning curve with that, George. Either way, I think Apple has loyalty. So the phone sales are down this year, and they're going to be down again this year. Or last year, they're going to be down again this year. But when the people who had an iPhone 5 or an iPhone 5S, when they're still using that phone and that phone breaks, they're not going to say, I'm going to buy a Samsung. They're going to be like, I'm going to go buy an Apple XR or, whatever.
I think if the phone is, let's say a year from now, the phone is up to $1,500. I think they're going to say, I'm not buying an Apple and I'm not buying a Samsung. They'll go buy something else. The point is going to come when people are not willing to pay that kind of money. And the point, in my opinion, is going to come when if people are willing to spend that kind of money, then you're just plain stupid.
George, but
you're paying 3 years on a phone.
George,
3 years.
George, nobody's buying a phone like you are.
That's ridiculous.
Everybody's not spending $700.
But listen to what Mike is saying. You're talking you're spending half of what you spend on a car.
George,
and, it's ridiculous.
George, listen, you're paying 3 years for the phone, right? Apple already has the iPhone installment program where you might spend $56 a month. You're getting the phone, the Apple Care, the 2-year coverage and all that. You can even add, my boy got like anti-theft or something crazy.
And how much are you paying a month for all of that?
George, listen, he might pay $60 a month. Let's say he's paying $60, right?
If you're paying $60 a month for a freaking phone, you're insane.
George, listen to me. He's paying $60 a month. If you go buy a OnePlus, right, you're gonna pay. Let's say you buy the middle, so you're paying $588, right?
Except you're buying installments. You're T-Mobile just like everybody else.
Okay, so let's say you buy it on installments. So you buy
so now you're paying $18 a month rather than $60 a month.
But you don't got iMessage. So if you want,
I don't think anybody wants to spend $40 a month for iMessage. I'm sorry,
Mike, you're laughing.
So Will, you're saying somebody's going to spend $40 extra a month for iMessage. I'm sorry,
Mike. No, listen.
Will, you added all those other incidentals. How much is just the phone a month would be for the guy?
Exactly.
What do you mean? No, I'm telling you.
Without all the extras.
He's paying what extras? He's okay.
You just said the phone. And Apple Care and some kind of anti-theft thing.
Wait, Mike, he's got to walk back now.
The iPhone upgrade program. You get the phone and it comes with Apple Care. There's no choice because after 12 months, you didn't get a new phone. You can't take Apple Care off of it. You have to get it with Apple Care. But what I'm saying is, you're gonna have that phone you can use that phone for 5 years, 6 years, whatever. You know what I mean? On Android, your phone isn't gonna last as long. Your phone ain't gonna last as long on Android.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
You're not gonna get the updates. So even if he paid the 12 months of payments and traded his phone back in, you know what I mean? He's still making out ahead. It's not like he's plopping down $1,000. George, when you go buy a phone,
$60 a month.
George,
no way. No
George,
way.
you go buy a phone, you're spending, let's say you buy a OnePlus, you're spending $600. After those payments, he spent the same, well, he paid $100 more than you, and he'll have his iMessage he can use it with the Apple Watch, or, you know what I mean? People on Apple are in it for
now he's bought an Apple Watch too.
Because you're in the Apple for the ecosystem. Android don't have the same ecosystem to make it worth it.
Well, you know what I think your problem is?
What?
You have some very fantastical view of money. It's like you're not being realistic about money at all.
George, the same way you can buy a OnePlus phone for $588 if you buy it unlocked, you're paying the same thing over a year. So instead of paying $588 out my pocket up front, I can pay $60 a month and have the phone that you know what I mean, that I really wanted. If you have
all I'm saying, I don't care who the brand is. Americans are not stupid enough to keep paying every year higher and higher and higher. They're just not that stupid. Yeah. You know, you sound like the politicians who really believe Americans are stupid. You sound like you really believe Americans are stupid too.
Yes, George. George, you're not paying it out of your pocket though. It's not all at once.
Well, somebody else paying for you?
George,
it's out of your pocket. I don't care how you're paying it. It's coming out of your pocket.
You don't finance stuff, but most people finance everything.
And it's not coming out of their pocket being financed. It's coming out of somebody else's pocket.
It's not coming out of your pocket all at once.
Yeah, if they're getting it through the government, then it's coming out of my pocket. Yeah, you can count on that.
It's not coming all out of your pocket at one time. You're not plopping down.
But you're still paying it out of your pocket. All I'm saying is they keep raising prices every year. People are not stupid enough to keep paying those prices.
George, people aren't stupid enough because people keep doing it. People keep buying phones from carriers you're paying every month. You're paying $40 a month for you know what I mean?
The difference between you and me, Will, is you think Americans are stupid. I don't. That's George, the bottom line difference.
George, that's why they put the phones on the payment plan at the carrier, because people keep doing it. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. They would went back to
some point, people are going to say, this is stupid. I'm not paying it anymore. Or they're going to stay stupid. One or the other. That's their only two choices here.
Paying it, George. People are going to keep paying it.
Then they're stupid. That's what I'm saying.
George,
you believe they're stupid. I don't believe they're stupid.
It's not about being stupid.
It's totally about, to me, it's 100% totally about being stupid. Or you just like throwing money away, one or the other.
George,
and throwing money away is also stupid.
So you don't throw away money, it goes back at him.
George,
he gets it back.
Well, he gets free phones. We don't. That's
George, I know.
George, do you get what you want or do you settle?
I sometimes get what I want, but of course I'm old enough to realize if I think I'm always going to get what I want, that's stupid. Nobody always gets what they want.
Hold on. George, that's like, all right, listen. That's like,
so you're telling me you go through your whole life and you always get everything you want. That's what you're telling me.
George, when you were getting your iPhone, right?
He won't answer that question.
Listen to me. When you were going to get your iPhone, we said, George, you can get an iPhone X for cheaper. You were like, I want the newest processor and right? You got what you wanted.
For the cheaper price, yes. For the cheaper price, yes.
George, you could have found an iPhone for cheaper, but for the regular 10. But anyway, wait. So you got what you wanted, right? So why would somebody say?
But do I always get what I want? No. Do I always deserve what I want? No.
Well, see, that's not.
And am I a human being? Yes. Is there such a thing as a human being who should always get what they want? No such thing exists. Never has. Never will.
I can get hit by a truck tomorrow. I'll buy whatever I want.
George.
So you're telling me that in your 30, whatever you are, you always get what you want and you always will.
Yeah, I get if
nobody ever says no to you.
What do you mean? I'm talking about what I can buy. I buy what I want.
You can buy. Okay.
If I'm in control of it, nobody else is buying it for me. Nobody bought your iPhone for you.
Let me ask you a question, Will. What's your dream car?
I don't really have one.
What's the best car you would like to own?
I don't know, because I don't get really tied up in cars. But if I go to the car dealer and I see a car, I'm not going to be like, well, I really want to save that extra $30. I'm buying the car that I want.
And if the car costs $200,000?
If that's the car I want, I'm buying it.
Okay, that makes no sense to me.
I want a Tesla.
What?
Yeah,
So
I'd
want a
like a
Tesla.
Tesla
Right.
too, but I'm not buying one.
Right, so if you can afford your Tesla, you should go get it.
Yeah, if I can afford it.
That's
I
just
can't.
like George. George wanted the iPhone XR, and he went and bought the XR. We told
Right.
him, we said, George, you can go get an iPhone.
And Will, how many phones do I pass on a year? Maybe 10, 12, 15?
So you don't really want them.
I don't want them bad enough to go into a hole for them. No,
But George, okay, so
I don't
You
spend
bought-
on what I can't afford.
George, you bought the iPhone XR.
This is the same. This is the same thing that caused the housing crash, because everybody was buying houses they couldn't afford to pay for, and then they all lost their houses. And whose fault was that? Oh, that was their fault.
George, I'm telling you, people are still going to keep buying the phones on the payment plan. If it's $60, $50, they're going to find some way to keep buying it. Watch.
Yeah, and I know you know what that way is. They're going to skip paying their mortgage for a few times.
That's their house. I don't care. I don't live
I
there.
understand that, but that's just plain stupidity.
Well, George, but we can agree that people are stupid. But what I'm saying is people aren't going to stop buying the phones.
I just don't think people are stupid enough to just keep this going forever. That's all I'm saying.
They're going to keep. It might not go the same numbers, but they're going to keep buying them.
Right, Mike, get in here. You need to say something.
George, Apple and Samsung.
I have something to say when you guys are done.
They're not okay. Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
All right, let Mike talk.
Not related to what you guys are talking about.
Well,
all I know is I can't afford. What is it? $1,800 phone. I can't even afford $1,000 phone. I can't
afford an $1,800 phone.
I have to wait to get. This is about the only impulse buy, not impulse, but only phone that this year or 2018 that I want, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it. Okay. Right. And then that as it is, I didn't pay for this. Technically, I'm paying PayPal.
You talking about?
For this phone? For this phone, you see what it is?
Yeah, the OnePlus.
Yeah. Okay. I have PayPal credit. So in a way, I'm not paying for this phone. I didn't pay for the phone yet. I'm making payments to PayPal. But all the phones I've gotten, I had to wait for, well, like this one. Right. This one I'm making payments on. This one I had to sell some phones to get.
Right.
But you know what I mean? I had to wait until there was a deal. This wasn't a fresh phone.
And Mike, you're kind of like me. I didn't get the V40 even though I wanted it. I didn't get the G7 even though I wanted it. And I sold my V30 so I could get the iPhone.
Right.
You know, but I don't buy just because I want to buy. I wait till I can afford what I can buy, and so do you.
But these phones prices are just getting outrageous. And what you said, George, get into the conversation. The conversation is this, going into what Painfully Honest Tech was talking about. And there's a few other viewpoints I want to, what I'm just saying is.
No, I'm reading what Forbes said. You can skip a mortgage payment to still be okay. The LG V40 is worth it. Okay. More power to you, Joseph.
The kids don't got to eat every day.
The kids don't have to eat every day. Okay.
Yes, Forbes Tech, and he loves his LG, so more power to you.
Phone, that's true. Yeah.
That's right. Just have the kids eat rocks out in the driveway. You'll be good. All right.
Next thing you know, there'll be stones in their stocking for Christmas. I don't know.
It's in the list. The stuff that Will put out for tonight was the video that Painfully Honest Tech put out,
right,
about how these phones are just boring and now overpriced. Don't you guys think? I mean,
Will has already said he doesn't think they're boring. I've said a lot of people saying that people are boring.
George, I don't think that the decline in the phone sales is because they're boring. I don't think if they put out a flip phone tomorrow that people are going to be like, oh, I have to buy a phone because it's exciting now. It's not happening. People don't buy.
I agree with you there. But obviously, the guy in the video is saying some people are not buying phones because they're boring. So you disagree with him too?
I'm laughing. What happened? He said that he thinks that the sales are in a slump or whatever, decline, which everybody, well, I think he was like one of the only ones who really came out and said it on YouTube that I saw. But
yeah, I agree.
Right, there's a decline, but I don't think that Apple's going to be like, all right, phone sales are down. It's time to drop the prices because people aren't going to buy them. People are still going to buy the phones. It might not be in the crazy number, which is understandable because the phones are going to last longer and the companies are just going to move on to services like Apple's doing or whatever. You know, they strategize for it, but I don't think.
So you're disagreeing with him also? Okay.
No, I don't.
Well, one of his points was these phone companies have pricing themselves out of sales. That's one of the points he made in the video.
I don't know. I don't think so. So you think if phones were cheaper, people would just buy them every year?
No.
Well, you see, that racket is happening now. The cheap phones come out, and then there's never a true. The people get bored with them to a point because they never update or give them a new OS or any new features or nothing like that, or the phones are built so crappy with the present software, like 2 gigs of RAM, for example, and the apps are coming out and are more demanding, so they can't handle what the present app ecosystem is presenting itself.
And this is what made Huawei and Xiaomi and ZTE and some of the others start coming up, because all of a sudden they're making phones that cost 3 times less than some of the top end phones, and they're just about as good as the top end phones because they keep getting better and better, and their cameras keep getting better and better. So now people are starting to look at them. Kind of makes sense.
Yeah. And what the other thing I wanted to comment is, and I mentioned a few things before. Excuse me, guys.
I agree with Gary Brown, what he's saying. When your Verizon bill for a family of 4 is $600 a month, people will slow down on those phones. I agree. And that's what the guy in the video was saying.
How many times can we review a device that looks like this kind of shape? How many times are we going to review a phone that's going to have X amount of software and what it does? And all right, the fingerprint sensor is here. That's a nice little trick, and stuff like that. I'm finding myself personally of lately, and I've mentioned it before. I said long ago, I said these phones got to come out and do something because we're hitting a plateau. And I think Jason's comments hit it on the nail that we're at that plateau. I think
and a lot of people have been saying the same thing. A lot of people way bigger than Jason or us,
Right. And I think the boat is getting missed here is what can they present to these phones today, not on longevity's part, but what can they integrate these phones? If these phones are becoming, well, let me rephrase this. The phones are becoming integrated into the Internet of Things, the smart plug or the control the lights, control your TV,
control your whatever, TV or your refrigerator,
control the vacuum cleaner. Right. So the thing is, I'm finding it, do I want to review any of these phones? Do I really care to review any of these upcoming phones? The price is outrageous. I'm never going to be able to afford a phone like this. I'm going to have to sell everything I got to get one phone to say I got it. You know what I mean? And it's just the same old thing over and over again.
But this is one reason why I like the Nokia phones and the Xiaomi phones. They're $300-400.
But George, how many times are you going to review? And the next Nokia phone is going to be a similar thing.
It's going to be the same thing again.
They're going to have what's a 6 point? You got a 6.1, right?
I have a 6.1 and a 7.1.
7.1, right? So the next generation phone is going to be a 6.2 and a 7.2.
Well,
what can they do differently? What could they possibly do differently?
Mike,
they can improve the cameras.
Mike, it's going to fold. Mike, it's going to fold.
No.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The thing is, and I think Will's right. People are not going to go out and spend a lot of money on these folding phones if they cost more.
It's going to cost a lot.
Yeah,
because it's new technology, and they're not out in masses.
Yeah, but the phone doesn't add nothing. The phone folding does nothing. That's why it's not going to matter.
Well,
phone
I
folder's
guess
not
they're
gonna
I
matter.
guess they're banking on people wanting a tablet and a phone in one. Maybe they're wrong. I don't know.
Mike, the fingerprint under the display means nothing. All that stuff doesn't. It
Now,
doesn't
see, to
matter.
me, the fingerprint under the display is pretty cool. I don't think that's a cool feature.
But George, it
But
doesn't
how
add
long are
nothing
you
to
going
the
to be able
phone.
to have a cool feature like that? That one company does it. They're all going to do it, and we're all going to kind of like, okay, we might gauge the, and you know how it worked when fingerprint sensors came out in phones way back when. They were okay, and then they quickly ramped up, and they all were great. And all of a sudden, you're even down to I was, when you had the Moto G5 Plus, I think came out with that feature, and it worked quite well.
Right.
Then if that was a standard that set the norm. You know what I mean. So
but I don't see what I think is happening is I think the in-screen fingerprint sensor on the 6T is good, but there's only about 4 or 5 phones that have come out with a in-screen fingerprint sensor.
And
is everybody else copying it? It doesn't look like everybody else is copying it.
But wait, George.
I think the foldable thing may get copied even more. It's beginning to sound like, because everybody and his brother's talking about making one, right, Will?
Yeah, the foldable. But George, that's I don't know. You said you like the in-display. So do you still have your OnePlus 5T?
Yes. Yes, right back here.
So what's the difference?
The difference is one's on the back and one's on the front. One of the things I like about but
I'm trying to say like what Mike was saying.
Yeah, no. One of the things I like about it is the OnePlus T is laying right here on the desk. I can just stick my finger there, and I don't even have to pick it up. That's one advantage. It's a small advantage.
Was that worth an extra $500 whatever dollars?
Well, probably not. But since it was this year's phone, were they going to charge the extra? Keep in mind, the only difference in price between the 5T and the 6T was like $30.
But the only
was it worth the $30? I think it was.
No, listen to me. I'm talking about to you, because the different, that's like you saying that the people won't spend the money to buy an iPhone, but you bought the same phone again.
Well, I didn't buy the same phone again. The cameras are better. It's got the in-display thing, and those are the two big things. What on my channel, what do I feature most? Cameras. So it kind of makes sense to me.
But the same reason you bought that phone is why I think people are still going to keep buying phones, because it's small. You found a small thing like that.
But it's the differentiation you always talk about. We're techies. Most people aren't. So they're not going to do what we do, and they shouldn't.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I can't see the point in buying a folding phone or fingerprint under the display, just like Samsung they came with the iris scanner. That was their big thing. Now they're ditching
that was a big fail.
Because it did nothing. You couldn't use it for it did nothing. Yeah. The iris scanner meant nothing for the phone. Intelligent. It's the same thing with
about the foldable phones. It's like Samsung's making one, LG's making one, Oppo's making one, Xiaomi's making one. This cheap Royal phone already made one. So it's like, why is everybody jumping on this bandwagon? I'm not sure. They think they know something that we don't know. I don't know what that is, though, for sure.
They don't know nothing because Android tablets suck. So who wants an Android tablet on a phone?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, they think they know something that we don't know, but I don't know what that is. Obviously, they're all going to spend a lot of money on R&D to do this,
They're trying to make it exciting again, but
well, maybe so, and maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know.
I just don't think the excitement is what sells phones.
I think right now, as the phone market is concerned, we have hit that peak. I don't think we're going to get any better. There's going to be nothing else out there to make you want to go out and get a new phone until you completely wear it out. I think the capabilities, these present day phones, especially the flagships, have enough RAM. They have a decent amount of memory, and there's no worth. Why should I even? I'm saying here is I've struggled with going out and getting a new phone. I don't know how I'm going to make myself relevant for my channel. If you know what I'm saying. If you think about it. What's so funny there?
Because
that's what I'm wondering.
No, listen, because when I saw his video, that's what I was thinking. Like, there's so many tech channels. people are gonna have to come up with something else to review now because
Right.
it's
And I want to know how Jason is going to manage this. You know what I mean?
you know, it's
How a guy like Jason, he's up there. What
yeah,
is,
you gotta find
they-
something else. But you know,
gonna have to-
he's
right.
but he'll get the foldable phone and all that. He'll say he won't get it, but he's gonna go get it. You know, all those people are gonna go get the foldable phone or
And
whatever.
this is what I like about Jay Williams. You know, he won't say he's not going to get it. He may say stuff against it, and then he'll say, because I'm a YouTuber, I'll probably get it. So that makes sense. You know.
Yeah, I mean, because like they said, I don't know.
Because even if it's not a
oversaturated.
hot seller, people will probably still watch your channel because they want to see it. That kind of makes sense. You know.
We already know Flossie's gonna go.
Oh yeah, Flossie's gonna get it. Jay Williams gonna get it. You know they're gonna have it.
Unbox Therapy. They're
Right.
all gonna.
But
Yeah.
a guy like George, you ain't going to get that S10, are you?
No, not a chance.
Right.
You know,
Right. So
did
what are
I
you
buy
gonna
the
do
last
meanwhile?
3 notes, even though I like notes? No, I'm not. They cost too much money.
So that's what I mean. Now it's affecting us too. This boredom that's coming out and
To a
overpriced.
degree, but I can keep buying $300 and $400 phones that keep having better and better cameras, and I'm doing okay. At least
But
channel.
how many $300 or $400 phones you're going to keep on going buying?
I don't
Where
know.
does it end? Why
It may
why
not
do
end it. It may not ever end.
right? I just find the phones becoming there's something else I got to look into. I got to consider doing for the channel and for here.
And what might that be?
I don't know.
Okay.
But definitely, I think though too is these manufacturers are missing the boat and trying to push hardware. Services sell, and I think it's going to come to a point where these phones are good enough, and people are going to hold on to their phones longer. And then what are they going to provide next for services? You know, Will and I were talking about the TV free TV channels, right? Well,
Yeah.
and yeah, some of them now you're paying. You got that one service you told me was like $20 a
Yeah,
month.
Alan put me onto that one, the $20.
Yeah, I remember
Right.
Alan talking about it. Yeah.
Right. And you know, there's a few other things there, you know, other ways to get TV at a reasonable price. So is that another avenue to research? What can these phones provide for us outside of actually buying it and opening it up and saying, here, it's a big, pretty phone? And notice I said big. you know,
Yeah, it's true.
you know. So I just, you know, overall, I think the market is really going. It's changing. We're hitting a certain phase in these phones and phone reviews and stuff. It's going to have an effect on all of us.
But remember how cyclical it is, because up until 2009, everybody was bragging about how small they could make a phone. Then it started going back the other way.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think Mike, the thing that sells the phone is the ecosystem.
and I think you have a very good point there.
Yes.
Will.
Yes.
The
yes.
ecosystem sells the phone, and then the companies are just going to have to come with services like Apple's trying to do, or Samsung.
And I think
whatever.
Will, that's where Google does agree with you, because that's what Android Assistant is all about, the ecosystem, you know.
Yeah, Google dominates in services. Their hardware, as far as the phones, don't sell that great, but they have their software everywhere. So that's
and then you know, Mike, when you say services sell, well, they sell to a degree, and then there's people like me. Well, I might like something, but I'm not willing to play. I like Star Trek Discovery. When I could watch it free, I watched it. Am I giving them $10 a month to watch it? Not a chance.
Right. But now they're going to eventually come to a point where you're going to get this much of Discovery. You might be getting it so-called free, but you're not getting to see the full episode. You're going to see, 20 minutes of an hour episode. If you want,
that's my point. I watched the first 2 seasons, and I'm never going to see another season because they're never getting a dime out of me, and I'm not watching 20 minutes of an hour. You know.
I'm just telling you that's where they're going to the game they're going to wind up playing.
Oh yeah, but yeah, so they're not ever going to get me to view again.
I had an interesting conversation. I had an interesting conversation with my son last night because I was out with him for dinner, and he explained to me how PlayStation works, and I couldn't get over. You just don't go buy the game and stick it in there. You buy the game, stick it in there.
If you want to play if you want to play online, you got to pay a yearly
fee.
Yeah, but let Mike finish what he's saying.
Yeah, but that's just it. He told me if you want to download a game, and some of the PlayStations only hold so much memory, so you're holding only so many games internally, and then
so then it has to be out in the cloud.
No,
you can mod your PlayStation though. You can put a bigger hard drive on it, or get one with a bigger hard drive. But Mike, see, it's different. All right.
Well, I'm
if
saying
you want to play online, you have to pay.
My son told me you can play so much of one game. If you want to get to continue to get the full value of the game, you pay for the game. You pay.
Oh, okay. He's talking. Yes, yeah, they do that.
Oh, it's like in-app purchase. So you're saying it's like in-app purchases?
It's you know what it's like, that? George. It's like it's not as bad as like Candy Crush or even the pool game, Mike, where you run out of coins and you got to pay. It's not like that.
Okay.
They'll release the game and you can kind of say it's unfinished. It's stupid the way they do it, but I guess they make a killing. But you don't have to buy it. Let's say like Spider-Man. I got Spider-Man for PS4.
Okay. So you have the choice, but if you want to move up, then you got to buy it.
If you want to keep playing the game, like I beat Spider-Man, right? If I wanted to play another story, I could have either bought it when I first bought the game, where instead of $60, the game might have been $80, and I would, when they release new content for the game, I would automatically get it. Or you can decide later to buy it.
Okay.
You can, but you don't have to. It's not like you get a half of a game. You get a whole game. You get a whole game, but it's.
And that's where I think
from the company's perspective, that makes perfect sense to me, because if I can make money on you continually, that's what I'm going to do too.
Right. Well, I also too. You talk about Discovery. I wonder if they're going to come out with. You're going to see a great TV service, and you're going to wind up getting it for free, and then all of a sudden you find that you got to watch more commercials. Let's say.
Oh, I'll do that.
I'll do that. You can't fast forward. Can't pause, can't reverse.
And that's the thing.
Go forward.
Even with my YouTube TV, I have certain shows that I DVR every week, and sometimes I'll go back and watch them later. And with some of them, the commercials, you cannot skip them, and some of them you can.
See, but I can't think of any particular service, but maybe that's just it. That's what's coming down. Could come down the pike.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah. And I just, like I said, I said before, something's got to give, because I know I talked about services, and I know I talked about how these phones are becoming repetitively
you just said
about the same.
Yeah.
And here, if I didn't have a way to cover, granted, you know what this one is, but look, I mean, generally, are they not the same?
They're generally the same.
The same shape.
Yeah, they do the same thing. Yeah, and they look the same.
And then you get the S10, which is going to be narrow. All right, a little bit narrow, a little bit taller, but
and have the ugly holes on the side.
What holes?
The punch holes in the screen.
To me, that's worse. I meant to ask you, what do you dislike more, the punch hole
to me,
or
that's
the
worse
notch?
Than the notch. I'd rather the notch than that.
See, I like the punch hole much better than that. Now, of course, the notches don't bother me in general, but I think the punch hole is much better for me.
Yeah, I'd rather the
notch. This is very much personal taste.
But yeah, I don't know, Mike. I think it's going to be services, like we've been saying. Services. That's why Apple's gearing. I don't know.
Yeah, they're all gearing for it.
Does Samsung have services?
What? Do they have services?
No.
Have you gone to their app store?
No, I'm saying, what do they have that's like a recurring?
No, he means like TV services,
they don't have like no recurring thing where I'm going to keep paying. Apple has Apple Music. Samsung tried their music thing that failed. They don't have nothing.
Yep.
They don't have any. They have a whole bunch of other stuff that you can buy, refrigerators and all that.
But keep in mind with Samsung, this company is so freaking huge They make the tallest buildings on earth. They're the biggest shipbuilder in the world. So they've got a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah,
I know. But I'm just saying, as far as mobile goes, they don't have like a service thing.
Yeah, I agree.
So they're kind of at the ground level with Apple as far as that goes. When
because they're going to be coming in late. Like Apple.
They're trying to do their TV. Apple's trying to do their streaming service, and they got Apple Music, and they got.
Well, don't be surprised if Samsung ends up making deals with Disney or somebody else, because they could possibly do that too.
Yeah, they're gonna have to partner with somebody.
Yeah, I agree.
They'll probably try to partner with somebody. See, but what keeps me on Google services is YouTube. Otherwise, I wouldn't be paying Google nothing. No. They wouldn't even get the $9.99.
Yeah,
because their music, to me, I'd rather Apple Music because it gets.
Yeah, see, I don't pay for anybody's services that way.
But I'm cheap. What about? Wait a minute. Why are you? Wait a minute. Why you don't want to put up with the commercials on YouTube?
Yeah, I don't want to deal with the commercials. Yeah.
Is that the? Oh yeah.
Well, because it it comes with the. I've originally got it for the music, and it comes with.
Google. Yeah. Right. I got the same thing too.
So, if it wasn't for YouTube, I would have canceled it and just went to Apple Music.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
Because it's the same price, I would have canceled it and went.
And see, it depends on who you are. Like I said before, the commercials. Well, the commercials on YouTube don't bother me either. I just skip when I can and I watch.
You know what?
They make me.
George, I haven't seen the commercials in so long that I don't remember what it's like anymore. Like,
it'd probably drive you crazy if you had to.
YouTube had commercials until maybe it was last year. I think I saw somewhere where it was, because I just had Google Music, so I never even noticed it.
Right.
It just became normal. I was like,
that makes sense. We all get used to. Yeah. That makes sense.
So now it's kind of like to go away from it. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. Get rid of it and see what happens.
You're gonna drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. And see, that's the other thing. I don't want to cancel it, and then they do something like, since you canceled, your price goes up, or
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they're all liable to do. No.
Yeah. So I'm like, let me just stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it works in the car and all that, so I'm good with it.
Gary Brown says here, go the Magic Tech Review
and do
prepaid Tech Right route and review prepaid phones. And yeah, I don't know. Again, it goes back. It's the same thing over again, and I hate bloat. I really do. I don't like the carrier stuff that will be in these prepaid phones. So, Gary, thank you.
You know that.
I just don't. I don't know. I've really been thinking a lot about.
No, it just sounds like you're really bored.
A little bit.
I'm not bored with it.
I enjoy talking shop with you guys.
Yeah, see,
I love talking shop with everybody. You know what I mean? But I guess that's maybe, maybe that would be my niche to talk tech to people. You know what I mean, on a live stream. But phone reviews, I don't know.
The thing is, like you were saying, kind of, they're all. Pretty much when it comes down to it, all the phones are the same, unless you're doing comparisons with pictures and stuff like George does. The phones are, what I mean? They're pretty much all the same. It's software is the
for me, that's my little niche. So that works for me.
And that's it. Like you said, I mean, it's easy to get bored, and that's why I could never spend all that money. And to me, it's like throwing your money away trying to keep up and review every new phone,
and that's what I don't do now. People like Jay Williams, he can afford that. He buys practically every phone that comes out.
I couldn't even do what you do, George.
He wheels and deals, though. He
doesn't wheel and deal that much. I mean, he
says he saves. He sells a bunch too.
No, he sells a few. He keeps most. But keep in mind, the man has 3 incomes every month. 3.
But also now he's a big enough YouTuber. He's probably getting a nice little, lead from YouTube down too.
But he has 3 incomes before he ever started YouTube. I couldn't even shot up in Iraq for us. He gets an income from that. He got shot up as a cop for the people of Dallas. He gets an income from that, and he gets an income from his preaching. So he's got 3 checks a month, every month, plus what he makes from Google.
Nigel was asking, what are my thoughts on the Nokia 9? I am terribly sorry, Nigel. I like Nokia. Nokia does pique my interest, but that particular phone I did not really check out. So
yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see what it's going to cost coming here, and which I haven't seen yet. But of course,
and did you see?
Pretty much everybody knows I love Nokia phones.
Talk about Nokia. They just recently released a deal with Cricket and Verizon.
Okay.
They're supposedly coming out with a 3.1 version.
Oh yeah, one of the Lady Red Tech reviews. She already did a review on that yesterday.
Yeah, they're going to be supposed to be coming out, and also in Canada too. They're supposed to be coming in Canada.
I specifically watched the review, and of course, she lost me when she said 2 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen with these phones, man. You know that. They got to do something about that. You know.
Well, I mean, the Nokia 7.1 only costs $350. And that's got 4 gigabytes of RAM. Well, of course, phones work fine with 4 gigabytes of RAM, but not so great with 2 gigabytes.
Yeah, because I think these apps are really on the Android side of things. These apps really do a wrecking job on these phones with 2 or 3 gigs of RAM.
Exactly.
So getting back to what Gary was saying, that's the other thing with these phones. It's like going, how can I recommend, review these phones and recommend them? I rather review the service. I mean, I kind of like getting, believe it or not, I do like getting other carriers and trying them out.
We believe it.
Yeah, I know. I know. Especially Will, I drive him crazy.
Jesus.
I'm going to text you right now. Hey, did you ever get this phone going?
It's
what?
It's here.
What?
It's over there. I got it. I got to activate it.
Which one?
Still haven't activated.
I got to activate it. I'm on it. Mike. I'm on it this weekend.
I'm coming over to repo it.
When I get off at 3, I'm on it.
Which one are you guys talking about?
He got me the prepaid phone. I gotta activate it. He wants me to take a look at it.
Mike,
I'm like you. It's boring, man. It's boring. I'm like you. I couldn't even do what
you just drink apple juice now.
I couldn't even do what George does. I couldn't even buy the
oh yes.
The mid-range, and I couldn't even keep buying news. I couldn't. I'd rather just spend whatever I'm gonna spend it at one time and be done. I couldn't keep doing it. I can't.
Sure, I got Simple Mobile. And I don't know, it said one free thing coming in. I said, whatever. And it came in on a big box. I'm like, what the heck's this? And it was a phone. And apparently that was a free thing. You got a free phone with it.
Okay, that's cool.
But $50, you had to buy a $50 prepaid card, their SIM card, which only was like $1 or $2.
Right.
And it came with a free phone.
Yeah, and this is where you're more gutsy than me. It's like, I'm T-Mobile. I can't do an MVNO. I just can't.
This is T-Mobile.
Yeah, but it's not his main number. He just does it to, I don't know what he does it for.
It drives you crazy.
I don't know what he does.
I don't know.
I drive you crazy. That's why.
Mike's got like 15 numbers in my phone.
I got what's over here? I got
Siri. George, Siri's dumb, but it's not that dumb. If he texts me and he's like, it's Mike, Siri will send me a thing at the top and it'll say, probably Mike Dixon.
Okay, well that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Did you get my message?
Yeah, I got it. Siri's not that dumb. He understands some stuff. I'm like, all right. I'm like, who's this number?
So Mike is out to try to confuse you and Siri.
Mike's got so many phone numbers. Oh my God. When I text him, I'm trying to figure out which one I'm supposed to text. I gotta ask him which number I'm calling him on.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, he's oh my gosh. Y'all, George, you got longevity. You're able to keep going. I would have been, I don't know.
Well,
you're better than me.
Longevity, old age, they kind of go together.
You're better than me because I know, like Mike said,
I'm just a lot older than you.
If it wasn't for you guys talking every week, I'd be lost. I would be really lost because.
But don't forget, Will, you're still the star of the show. So
it's this. No, I mean it because it's like you said, it's boring. And to me, it's been boring for a while. Like the phones itself have been boring for a while, I guess, because the under display, to me, it's just not interesting. I'd rather.
Yeah, I think I just get excited about smaller things than you guys do. You know.
No, I mean it's nice, but when I go buy a phone, like I wasn't like, all right, I'm gonna go buy the OnePlus 6T because the finger like that wouldn't make me go buy the phone.
Yeah, but I was glad I skipped the OnePlus 6 because that did not have the in-display. So I will only buy the new phone once a year. I'm not buying it every 6 months.
See, to me, that wouldn't have been a deal breaker. If they had the two phones, I wouldn't have said, all right, I'm gonna get the one. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
and see, there's the difference between us. That would have, if they had the two phones, that would have been the deal breaker for me.
Yeah, not because it's not. It's to me, it's not doing enough to make me.
Okay, yeah, I just think it's cool. But I mean, that's why we're different.
But you know what, George? That was my thing with the iPhone 10.
Okay.
When the iPhone 10 came out, I didn't like the fact that you had to look at the phone. You know what I mean? To unlock it, I didn't like that. And now
I'm kind of glad I didn't have. What was the touch called again?
Touch ID.
Touch ID, because I haven't had it, and I love the facial recognition on the iPhone.
Yeah. See, I don't know. I'm pretty content right now. So the boredom is okay. Apple's boring too, but I'm holding out. I love getting updates.
But you remember, even before I had an iPhone, I used to tell people that asked me, if you want a phone that just works, get an iPhone, because they always work.
Yeah. But that's George. They always work, and that's why the sales are down, because they need to stop working.
The sales are down, but the sales are down for. But the funny thing is, the sales are down for the big guys. Sales are going up for Xiaomi and Huawei. I'm not sure about ZTE. Oppo sales are going up. For some of the smaller Chinese companies, they're moving up, and they're moving up fast. I mean, Mike, Huawei passed Apple at every place except the United States.
Mike, I got some content for you. You ready?
Oh, no.
You've never done it. You need to go to a store or somewhere, and you got to interview the people. You got to get out there in the public. You got to ask them. You got to ask them.
I always thought that's kind of a cool thing to do.
Mike, you got to ask people. You got to tell them. You got to say, listen, you're walking into T-Mobile or AT&T or wherever, and you're going to make a phone purchase. If they have an Android phone, say, are you going to buy an iPhone or an Android? You know what I mean? And what is influencing your decision? Is it price, or is it being loyal to Android, or trying Apple, or is it iMessage? That's, to me, that's a good video, Mike.
But you know what I find interesting about this, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a guy with his own channel, but he's selling YouTube.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
George, what are you talking about?
I tried to talk him into coming out one day to do that.
You
Sometimes
did.
I think.
I remember.
George,
And he said, no
George,
way. I needed
George.
I said it'd be my cameraman.
All right,
George,
Will, why should Mike?
George,
Why
listen,
should Mike
wait,
do this
George,
rather
hold
than
on. He did bring this up years ago, but we never did it. Ask him why we never did it. I was always ready. If he calls me and gives me a date, to do it, I'm ready to go.
All right, now he said that on live.
Yeah, really.
He calls me. Let him call me and give me a day to do it. I'm ready to go. We can go to Best Buy.
Okay.
He's going to gauntlet back in your face.
All right.
We can go record in Best Buy and ask people why they're buying their phone.
No.
And you know what else we can ask them? Wait, Mike, we can ask them if they say they're buying, if they say the price or whatever, we'll ask them, would you buy a cheaper phone?
We got the perfect location right over here in the shopping center over here. Over here is a Sprint store and a T-Mobile store over here at College Town. All right.
You let me know. We'll see what people say. We can ask them everything. We can ask them, are they bored with the phones?
I'm not making excuses. I'm not doing it now in the dead of winter because
no, it's too cold. We
got to do it right. We got to do it when it's a little warmer. Okay.
Yeah, we can ask them if the phone.
All right, you're on.
Bored with the phone.
George is my witness.
All right, I'm not just me. You got all the people watching who are your witnesses.
All 5 of them, all 7 of them. We can ask them if they're bored with the phones that are out. We can,
That'll be a good thing, right about the beginning of spring.
Yeah.
So.
George,
go ahead.
You said your iCloud wanted to update. I'm thinking your iPhone. I'm about to say
no. I updated the iPhone and the watch when you told me to that night. That the next day, I think.
I was about to say have you been to the Apple store lately?
No, I haven't been at all. The 2 times I had a problem was the only time I ever went, and they fixed it.
Yeah, I haven't been since I got the phone fixed. Actually, that was the last time I went. I know one of my friends. He went. And he got that battery case, the $130 battery case.
What did he sell? Did he like it or what?
Likes it. Yeah, he's
Sure
on.
did.
Phone thick, I'll say that.
Yeah, it does. He said it makes the phone thicker, but it's. And I didn't know it worked like that. What it does is, if he charges the phone, goes out to work, it drains the case to keep your phone at 100%.
Okay, yeah, and I saw that in somebody's video too. Yeah.
So he gets a lot of use. He gets more use out of the phone now. I told him that's probably good for your battery because then you're not cycling the battery either because it's always there.
That's
Just about
true. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. So maybe it's worth $130. I don't know.
For him, it is, I guess. I told him, I was like, and he did the plan I was telling you about, but he's got the XS Max. He got the big boy too, the 512.
Okay.
So I said, let's see if you buy again because he was like us. He bought in 1 year, right? And he was mad at me because I kind of encouraged him. He went from, I think he had the S8 Plus, the Note 8. Then he got the S9 Plus. I think the only one he didn't get was the Note 9. Then the iPhone 10, and then he upgraded to the 10s Max. He had the iPhone 10 for like 6 months, but he was able to sell it for like.
What amazes me about people like that, if you don't have a YouTube channel, why do you keep buying phones?
Well, no, this is what he did. He completely left Android. Gone. Right. He's done with Android, but he made his money back because he sold the iPhone 10 for like $800, and now he's got it on the upgrade program. So, and was it, I think $60 a month, but he can trade it in after 12 months. So,
we are now at 6 minutes after 10, and you have a double shift coming up.
Oh my God, that's right. He's trying to prevent or not to go into work. That's what he's going to do.
I do got to go to work, and I'm gonna be
there for a long time.
All day. I'm gonna be there till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow,
it's not gonna be fun. All right, let's get out of here, y'all.
All right.
Who got it next week?
Actually,
next week Adam's got it. Right?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
Adam's all psyched.
All right, everybody. I'm leaving. I got to go work and do my double.
There you go.
See y'all next week on Adam's channel. All right, Mike, you got it.
All right. I'm Mike Dixon. This is Simply Your Device. Slightly bored, but don't worry. There will be content eventually coming out. And as always, leave comments on Will's channel. Oh, and subscribe to Will's channel.
Yeah, right. I'll get to 50.
Yeah, get the Will to 50. Just 9 more. That's all. 9 more.
Content because I'm bored too, like Mike.
Go ahead, George.
Okay, I'm losing my voice. I'm Mobile Geezer, and of course you can catch me on the Mobile Geezer channel. I will be hosting this broadcast 2 weeks from tonight, and of course you can find Mobile Geezer on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, and my website is mobilegeezer.wordpress.com. I usually write 1 article a week, so please follow me there. And thanks for watching.
All right. See you next week.
All right.
Everybody have a good
day now. Bye.
Have a good weekend.